Limitless Growth podcast. I am super excited to have you. For those that don't know you yet, can you do a quick intro and also what WaveOn Health is all about?
Yeah, the quick intro. I am an athletic trainer by degree. So if the audience is not familiar with athletic training, it is an allied healthcare profession. It's now a master's degree. We have to be nationally certified. And then in most states, you have to be state licensed. So it's a little bit larger requirement to become an athletic trainer. There's a higher barrier of entry. And the easiest way that I describe it is if you watch a sporting event and if an athlete goes down on the field or the court from a high school up to professional sports, the athletic trainers are actually the ones that are waved on to the court. So that's where I came up with the name WaveOn Health. And really what we do, and I worked at Stanford University and I worked with the U.S. ski team, we deliver this end-to-end comprehensive solution to help athletes stay healthy, stay active, and we really provide that comprehensive service from prevention, early intervention. We manage injuries. We then refer to specialists when necessary. And then we help athletes through recovery and return to play to get back to whatever sport they want to do. So just being in the profession for 20 plus years and knowing a lot of pain points, but also knowing that there's a lot of opportunity, WaveOn Health is really capitalizing on both of those. And we're just bringing a certified licensed athletic trainer to athletes, but more so what we're doing is we're providing athlete advocacy and athletic health management to a whole new market that has never really had access to that if they are not part of a high school, if they're not part of a college or professional athlete. So there's 24 million everyday athletes that have never had access to that advocacy and athletic health management, and we're just leveraging technology to bring it to the masses.
Amazing. And you mentioned all of the pain points. What would you say that are the main pain points that you saw in the industry?
We, like WaveOn Health as a whole, is serving two markets, right? It's what they call a double-sided market. We have the athletic population on one side, and then the profession of athletic training on the other side. So I'll do a quick little deep dive into the problems for both. For the athletic space, the problems are if they don't have access to someone that really understands athletic health or athletic related injuries, their problems are, well, what do I do? What do I do for my sore shoulder, my tight back? I hurt my knee playing basketball. What do I do? So that's the problem. Their current solution that they have is they ignore that pain and hope it goes away. And then when that doesn't work, they ask their friends and family what they did. And then when none of that is working, they are searching Dr. Google looking for an answer. And then when none of that works, they are then forced into healthcare, which is actually sick care, because it's very reactive, takes a lot of time, costs a lot of money, and is actually not focused on athletics. It's focused on the general population. So that's one side of the problem. And then the other side of the problem is the profession of athletic training is changing. Technology is obviously a big part of everyone's day in life, and we want a better work-life balance. We obviously want to get paid more, like every profession. And what happens tens of thousands of times per day is those athletes that I was talking about, if they're a former athlete or a college coach or a club director or a friend and family, they're actually always asking athletic trainers two questions. What should I do about this? And do you got a guy? So that just really validates. They just want to have access to information. Just athletic training has been doing it for free just because they're a very empathetic, compassionate provider that they don't know what to do with it. So that's kind of the intersection of there's two problems and we're the solution to help a lot of people with discomfort, aches or pains, or a full-blown injury. And that's never been available before to the everyday active person, not just an athlete winning gold medals, but anyone that is doing something with an activity-based goal. We're helping them out significantly.
Beautiful. And it also helps a lot the part where you're gonna have, I suppose, your the same expert talking to you, and
Yep.
you're gonna be able to communicate with him way faster than going to the doctor, where appointments are sometimes a month apart, 2 months apart, or who knows when.
Yeah, I mean, like to dive in deeper to that perspective, when an athlete enters our ecosystem, they are attached to that athletic trainer, that allied athletic health provider. It's not like an Uber model or a Lyft model where every single time they come in, they're getting a different person.
Uh-huh.
So that's really big for continuity of care, right? Because then we can kind of straddle the healthcare terms. It's really good to help people understand just that history of them as a person, what works for them, what doesn't work for them. And then as their athletic career advances, and if they do have problems that arise, we are the ultimate case manager. And once again, that's another healthcare term that if someone has an insurance plan, they might have a case manager that is really just finding them a provider that has availability on their schedule. They're actually not providing any clinical information at all. But athletic trainers are the case manager for athletes to give them really specific information about what they need to do now, or I know the best provider based on what you need, where you live, and quite honestly, what insurance plan you have. So we're keeping everything within the confines of what's beneficial for that end user.
Beautiful. And in
Mhm.
regards to prevention, what would you say are the main things that you
Yep.
guys are working on?
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of a hot button, right? Prevention. The market has a lot of prevention type resources. If you go to a gym anywhere in the country, they can do an ACL prevention class. Baseball coaches have shoulder injury prevention stretching programs and
Mm-hmm.
strengthening programs. And all of that is completely valid and beneficial. Where the world of athletic training picks up, where all of these industries fall off because we're allied healthcare professionals, I describe prevention as kind of three terms: athletic training and what WaveOn Health is doing. We're preventing it from getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
We're preventing it from happening again. And then, most importantly, because we're navigating the healthcare system, we are preventing long term high medical expenses. And the reason I say that, without us, someone goes to urgent care for unnecessary x-rays or images, and then they have to go see their family provider, and then maybe within 4 to 6 weeks they can see a specialist. That's very timely, it's very costly.
Yeah.
Well, we can help you in the moment. This is what you need to do for that sore shoulder so it gets better. Or you did tweak your knee, let's have you see an orthopedic surgeon for imaging tomorrow morning. And we have some really good case studies that validate all people really want is access to advice and support within that spectrum from prevention all the way through returning to play.
Correct. And talking about
Yep.
those case studies that you just mentioned, how do you guys define success with a user of the platform or a patient?
No, that's a great question, because the profession that we're kind of expanding and evolving, we're we're advancing that profession and profession. So part of it is the subjectivity of athlete. Do you like it? Like,
Mm-hmm.
is it helpful? Right. The objectivity is, well, did we get them back to their sport
Yeah.
faster than if they didn't have us? And that's the difficult is, well, there's no hard data if they did or didn't, right? The alternative, like they're either with
Right.
us and we have that data, or if they're not with us, then we would have that data.
Right.
So we're trying to work with a lot of different factors to really understand the success metrics. But right now, there's a lot of big, case studies of it was amazing. You got me to see whatever type of provider immediately, or the feedback you gave me, I was able to feel better and start practicing or training the next day or 2 days later.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really how we're defining success metrics.
Got it. Agreed. And what would you
Yep.
say that makes WaveOn Health different from their competitors?
So, I mean, I get that question a lot. Like, who is our competition?
Uh-huh.
And I'm using my hands. So, if people are watching the podcast, on the left hand side is fitness, performance, fit technology, right? Fit tech,
Mm-hmm.
the world of athletics, like strength and conditioning. They are really about getting athletes bigger, faster, stronger. And coaches are about the X's and O's and making them better at their sport. On the far right side is healthcare, which is all about, insurance companies and hospitals and third party reimbursements and surgeries, also known as sick care, like I talked
Yeah.
about earlier. So, in some capacity, the bookends are competition because they are well known. People know that if they hurt their knee, they can go see a surgeon. If somebody wants to get faster for whatever sport, the fit tech industry is there. Both of those are single point solutions. Both verticals do one thing really well. No one is really a direct competitor to WaveOn Health because no one is managing the health of athletes from prevention all the way through return to play
Got it.
in that comprehensive component. The real competitors are, well, if an athlete works or competes at a school or a club team or a pro team and they have an athletic trainer, like that's the competition. And around the country, there are athletic trainers that have their small little brick and mortar that serves the population. So that's competition. But there's really no one doing it on a global scale like we are. And the network of athletic trainers and the network of providers, then the technology infrastructure that we're building out really kind of puts us in a class by ourselves.
That is the main benefit of going so niche, because you
Yep.
definitely are probably the only option for a lot of people. And not gonna say that maybe copycats could show up in the future, but definitely you would be the main player at that specific thing for a long time, probably.
Yeah. Like within the world of athletic training, there's obviously competition, and they, more like a technology perspective, they're doing a single point solution well. And that's great. From capturing data around like movement analysis or
Mm,
all the way through what type of injury records are we keeping. So there's a lot of single point solutions within our space that at some form are a level of competition,
mm-hmm.
but we are doing it by ourselves. So yes, and this kind of goes to the listeners. That niche and that niche is very exciting and
Yeah.
opportunistic, but at the same time, nobody really likes to be first, right? No one wants to be the first one because that's the risky part.
Right.
And what I have to tell people all the time, we are not doing something better, faster, cheaper. We're literally doing it first.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of education, there's a lot of, I'll say, marketing that just allows people to say, oh, now I understand it. Now I want to dive deeper into, should I pay for this service? So it's not as easy as being second to market that we could just say, oh, we're faster than so and so,
Right.
or we have better outcomes because XYZ. So that's why these podcasts are so helpful. It really just allows us to share the message of why it's so unique and the value that we bring everybody.
Yeah, there's this great saying that says the riches are in the niches.
Yeah. Yep.
But of course,
Mm-hmm.
as you mentioned, yes, it's gonna be a little bit harder to start, but that also makes it such a big opportunity because no one else had
Yeah.
wanted to go into
Yep.
that hard process.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard being a visionary and seeing it. And I'm like, it's so easy. Why doesn't everyone understand it? But that's where you have to kind of keep everything at bay and understand how other people think and human behavior and really just understand all the dynamics that go into being first to market. Like we're not just first to market. I live in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
We're first to market in the world. And if that's, I just have to be patient and understanding and continue to work forward with what we're doing.
Yeah, correct. And what would be
No.
some positive feedbacks that you've received that you feel very proud of?
Oh, I mean, every day I talk with athletes, coaches, administrators, and even orthopedic surgeons and club directors, and everyone is like, Adam, like you're solving a major problem.
Wow.
Like this is pretty cool. It makes sense. Because sports injuries are a $33 billion expense every
Wow.
single year. And the only solution is what I said earlier, like you figure it out on your own, or you go into a very expensive healthcare system and you're kind of either over treated, or you don't even qualify for healthcare because healthcare is really sick care. And I do say this to a lot of people, the most underserved population in healthcare, aka sick care, is actually the healthy and the active because they don't need sick care. And then the most underutilized discipline in healthcare is actually athletic training because we're allied healthcare professionals and never figured out to do. So we have, very successful use cases of someone that tore their Achilles, never went to urgent care, didn't go to the emergency room because we told them it's not going to be beneficial for your injury. Treat it this way from your house tonight. I just scheduled an appointment with the surgeon tomorrow, and surgery was scheduled within 7 days.
Wow.
Just because we're treating everyone like a pro athlete.
Right.
So if people, like last season was the NBA, there were 3 NBA players that tore their Achilles in the playoffs, right? Just kind of a freak of nature. That happens every single day across the country where people are tearing their Achilles.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't have surgery for quite a while just because of the dynamics of the healthcare system. We're navigating and being the athlete's advocate and getting them where they need to go. And that's kind of on the extreme end of like a traumatic injury, but you can think a twisted ankle doesn't need always to go to the emergency room. Wrist and elbow pain just needs someone to tell them what to do at their house, right? So that's just kind of the nuance of what we're putting together.
That is beautiful. I've never heard getting to the point of surgery in 7 days. Like for example, I'm not a sports person. Like I just go to the gym, but I had an injury in my shoulder, and I did a lot of therapies. But I actually just had surgery, and it took me 3.5 years for them to approve the surgery.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Imagine that.
Yep. And just to use that story as a use case, at the first point of, my shoulder doesn't feel right, we would have been applicable. And then we literally can push out programming specific to you and your needs that you could have done in the gym with your friend that you were working out with. And then ongoing, we were always available to change and adjust that programming. More than likely, if you did not have a traumatic injury, that would have prevented surgery.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And that's why it's hard to say we can guarantee a shoulder surgery prevention. It's just like it's not possible. But we can say, hey, data will show if you do XYZ, there's a less likelihood of surgery. And that's why I'm telling you, like to the audience, like the first sign of discomfort, that's when you contact us. Don't wait until it's so bad. It's like, how do I manage the injury? It's like, no, let's get it fixed right away today.
No, I agree 100% because that was one of the main issues that I experienced is that appointments for therapies and things like that would be very spread apart. So sometimes, okay, this week you cannot do anything. So it's not, of course it got worse.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, what would you want? What would you have wanted? Like, you are a use case, and you have a bunch of audience listeners that are in the health space. Like, what do you feel would have been the best solution for you from inception of the problem all the way through post surgery? Like, was there anything you wish you would have had?
Yeah, I think if I could talk with that expert daily, it would have been amazing. And also, what you mentioned of maybe keep changing the plan if we see that it's not working, which is something that I didn't have. And making sure that if I had to do the exercises 3 times a week, then it's going to be 3 times a week, not after 1 week, after 2 weeks. So I think that would have helped it not progress the way it did, unfortunately.
And I'll say this just to kind of give credit where credit is due. When you had therapy, they were probably excellent, but they were confined to what they could do.
Exactly.
because of insurance, right?
Exactly.
Our model is not dictated by insurance and what we can do based on their reimbursement model.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving you what you need. And if you needed a new program on Monday and another one on Tuesday, we would do it. There's no limits. There's no timelines. It's really just, we're here for you. And once again, that's how it works in high school all the way up to professional sports. The athletic trainer is just there to give them that progression when necessary, not dictated by what insurance will reimburse.
Correct. Yeah, I see definitely the value, especially with that. And as you mentioned, a lot of people suffer from injuries or issues in their back, knees. I
Yep.
saw it a lot with this process. Like the surgery room was full of people to go get
Yep.
surgery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, Adam, and what are some key lessons that you've learned by scaling a business
Yeah.
worldwide?
I will get on my soapbox for a minute, but it's more about being a subject matter expert founder. And how I describe a founder, it is someone that found the problem and created the solution.
Mhm.
So it's a very different way of thinking, right? It's kind of like the beautiful mind. We see things that other people don't see, which is how we find it, and then we create the solution. I don't have an MBA. I haven't managed $100 million budget or hundreds of employees. So by default, I'm going from a subject matter expert into, okay, now I got to run a business.
Mm-hmm.
And what I wish would have happened, and it's not regret, it's just all part of the learning. It's all about a team, right? There's no such thing as a unicorn, right? That's why it's a mythical creature. So if I would have had someone, I'll say running the business and someone developing our product from day one, and I was the subject matter expert opening up doors, understanding their problems and creating solutions before they even talk about them, we would have been in a very different situation, but I wasn't able to do that. So I'm just kind of playing the cards I have. But it's really understanding what someone's strength is and then surrounding your strength with other strengths.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to do now. So I'm trying to make that happen, that I'm not trying to be a unicorn and I don't want to be one. So it's figuring out how can I have the right resources around the concept and obviously me. And then collectively we can all be successful.
Yeah, that power of delegating, and I think all entrepreneurs go through this. It's very hard sometimes to trust somebody, to not have the control,
Yep.
to know that even if you're very good at doing one thing, that doesn't mean that you should be doing that one thing, because you should focus on the thing that's gonna grow the most your business, and it's super hard.
You're exactly right. And even before that, and I didn't mention this, but you brought up a good point. Being first to market, nobody wants to be first. Like I said, I don't have super wealthy friends or family
Mhm.
that want to give me $500,000 to get started.
Yeah.
Right. So I am literally telling people now, if you don't have the appropriate funding, like readily available by friends and family for a first to market idea, and if you don't have someone that can build it out, like don't do it. Like literally just don't do it, because it's way too difficult and lonely
Yeah.
to just try to figure it out. It's more about, you have to have all the right resources in place. And that's what's hard. Like I'm doing this as a passion project. So it's not about the money at the beginning, but that's kind of creating the personal struggles throughout this journey. I don't have the resources, to your point, hire someone and give them the freedom to be responsible for marketing or product development. I'm getting people to help kind of for free, a little bit of sweat equity, but bandwidth is limited. They don't have the real experience to scale and grow startups.
Yes.
So you also have to have the financial resources to give that leash and let it extend for that collaboration to really occur. It's crazy what I've gone through. Very, very challenging.
I get it. I 100% get it, because it takes a good budget to find a real good person. And that's actually something that I've struggled with as well. I still don't have the means to get a killer, so I'm doing a lot of this stuff, because the
Yep.
people that know how to do what I'm doing are earning a lot of money, or
Okay.
the people that I can hire are a little bit more junior, and I have to still teach them a lot and be a lot with them, like do that companionship.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You're exactly right. Yep.
Okay, now let's
Hmm.
talk a little bit about digital marketing. Have you ever
Yep.
tried any digital marketing for this business?
It goes into the previous answers.
Okay.
I know the power of digital marketing in today's just marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
In order to do it, there has to be a budget that allows it to
Yeah.
be done correctly. So without that budget, it's a lot of manual work
Yeah.
to do. We'll just say social media posts. Is it good? No. The benefit, right? There's always I'll say a catch 22 or a pro and a con. The benefit for what I'm doing, our industry is a very tight knit community.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy to do free social media ads in the common media platforms and get a lot of feedback. We're not doing cold like marketing campaigns to millions of people that we don't touch them. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Over time we will, but
Mm-hmm.
right now in the startup phase, we're able to really act under like the lean methodology of like, okay, who do we know? How do we get it started without having to spend money we don't have? But I do know how important digital marketing is in today's marketplace.
Yeah, so a little bit of also doing, as you mentioned, that community power and partnership power with people that
Yep.
already believe in it and can be loud about it without spending
Yep.
ad dollars.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
Exactly.
And so you post in social media. Is that something that you do personally every day, or how do you have this set up?
I mean, I'll be honest. What I want to do as we grow and scale is I want to have that like marketing manager that knows the trends. They can look at all the research, they can look at all the metrics, and they know what works. Being a user of social media to see something from the same organization or the same person on a daily basis, right? You kind of get whatever. I mean, there's a name for it, something fatigue. I don't know what you
Fatigue,
guys
yeah.
call it, but yeah, content fatigue might be the right term. And then it's trying to figure out a calendar regarding what's important now. What is the season? And in the sports, it's all about seasons.
Right.
So it's just having the bandwidth to do all that. But the more you do it, the better. But I do feel every single day is a little overkill for some people or some topics.
Agreed, especially if you're that busy. You could
Yeah.
start smaller, 2, 3 times a week or something
Yeah.
like that. That's what I do currently, 2 times a week.
Perfect. Yeah.
And apart from money, is there any other like big challenge that you have related to outreach or digital marketing?
I mean, money. Yeah, everyone's going to have money, so that's not like an Adam specific thing. It doesn't matter how big a company is. They're like, okay, what money are we going to spend? Not spend.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to like make it about money.
Okay.
But that resource does allow the decision of, well, what are we going to use? What type of platforms are we going to use? What type of people
Mm-hmm.
are we going to hire? What type of vendors are we going to work with? So it's all related, and without the financial resources to compensate those partnerships,
Mm-hmm.
it then goes into bandwidth, time,
Yeah.
what can we do now, right? And then it's just like extra layers of questions instead of just handing it off to a person that is managing all that.
Right.
So,
100%. At least now
yeah.
we can we have a little bit more help with AI. Of course, it's not like 100% the same as an expert, but at least it's a little bit of a push, like that we can ask questions to it.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, I don't think AI is going to replace anyone because there still has to be a question asked to the AI to
Yeah.
create the answer. And then someone can kind of manage what the AI is doing. I use it, everyone uses it, but I don't think it's going to make human beings obsolete. Right?
I agree. I agree. There's a lot of thinking that it doesn't do without you really guiding it. So
Yeah.
the human touch is totally important, super important. And also, at least for example, the ad platforms that I work with a lot, they're using their AI, but not really to benefit that much the client, but to benefit them. just so they can earn more money. So at least that's good. Not That's good for us that we're managing, because we're still gonna keep our jobs related to that.
I mean, I think the AI is actually a discussion that if a company doesn't create the appropriate resources to manage the AI, they're going to be behind. And for like someone in my position to learn AI, I'm already behind. So why would I go and learn it? Just like why would I go get an MBA in my mid 40s when I can just hire the right people to help me understand the business nuances, right? Or why do I need to go get a marketing degree when you can just hire a marketing person or a lawyer, et cetera, et cetera. So I think to have that expert of AI within companies now is going to be just as important as like the HR department.
That's right. That's gonna be a new position for every company. Wow,
Yep.
I've never thought about that. That's very true.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam,
Yep.
thank you so much for the insights, for everything that I learned. It's awesome what you're doing. I love it that it's very niche and solving a huge problem. Where can people know more about you and WaveOn Health?
Yeah, I mean, the easy one, waveonhealth.com, waveonhealth.com, easy. And then within that, you'll see me. It links to my LinkedIn account. I mean, you can email me, adam@waveonhealth.com. And to the listeners, like if there's any interest, I'm all about collaboration. Or if you're like, oh, I'm part of an adult triathlon club. This sounds interesting. I'm part of a pickleball facility. My kids are club soccer. I play golf with all my friends and they're all over 70. Literally, we can support anyone because the human body is the human body and everyone is active. So if any listener is like, this is interesting, I want to learn more, waveonhealth.com or reach out and we'll have a conversation.
Beautiful. Thank you, Adam.